So I learned about Raymond James from a headhunter who was recruiting for candidates to fill the head of Cash Solutions. At first, it was all about what kind of opportunity, and that was easy to evaluate because it was about leveraging my skill set, my experience, and that seemed pretty compelling to basically, make a real contribution and add value. The second sort of element, of course, is you move from that to sort of your own due diligence. You do a little bit of research, you read the annuals to figure out what's going on, what the company's all about. And I quickly realized that it was a little David, coming from a bulge bracket firm in New York, Goliath, a Raymond James that has 280 in the Fortune 500, that's a diversified financial service institution with a big focus in PCG, but active in asset management and investment banking, capital markets. That resonated. It was something that I knew quite well. And then, of course, there was the location. This is a pretty happening, sort of beach area. I'm a sailor. I've sailed all my life. And so that was a big plus as well. In fact, it was the icing on the cake. I just completed my 5th year anniversary in January, and I have to tell you, it went by incredibly quickly, which means that I've been having a very, pleasant experience here. But where I would start is with the core values, and I wouldn't start with the most intuitive one. I'm going to start with a less intuitive one, which is conservatism. And I've learned at Raymond James that conservatism really is all about taking a very disciplined approach to the way we prosecute our business, being very thoughtful, very deliberate, really sort of working with a risk management framework and never really getting ahead of our skis. That's how we end up with a phenomenal balance sheet, great credit ratings from the credit agencies, and really stay out of harm's way. One of my key priorities in joining the firm and heading up Cash Solutions was to stand up an offering on the high yield savings front. And that required effectively working incredibly closely with legal and compliance, most importantly with IT that really did all of the heavy lifting to get the offering off the ground, working with the bank, working with operations, effectively collaborating across the firm to do something that was pretty unprecedented. Another example about my experiences here at Raymond James really talks to the access to leadership that we have, which is a real privilege. And it's very important to me because when we look at leadership, we tend to sort of learn from them, we observe how they behave, we emulate them, and especially for the young associates who are our future leaders, what better role models to be looking at. And so having leadership make themselves available is something very, very special. There's so many things that I consider special about Raymond James, and I think you're going to find super smart people at all companies. And all companies have great access to resources, great strategies. And so when you think about who the winners are going to be, in my opinion, it's becoming more and more a question about who's able to execute best. And that's one of the things that we at Raymond James do incredibly well. We're able to navigate a fair amount of complexity. Just think of the FA channels that we have to basically manage, the diversified holdings, the diversified business lines, but it all comes together in a very, very compelling manner because of our ability to execute.